Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the charts for Ethereum, taking a look at the most recent price action and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check that out today. And if you are looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, why not check out our new podcast? Link is also in the description down below. It's a fantastic way to keep up to date with absolutely everything that is going on in the crypto space whilst on your commute to the office. All right guys, let's waste no more time though. Let's jump right down into this technical analysis for Ethereum, right? So here we have Ethereum paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. Now we are obviously using Elliott wave theory in these analysis, along with things like momentum indicators from the stochastic RSI and Fibonacci retracement tools, coupling it all together to help us give an understanding as to where things are likely to go next. So what I'm going to talk about is this movement just here to the upside. We have seen a pretty steady rise here with Ethereum since we hit these lows. Okay, and this yellow box area was my estimated target there. Now we had this 35% or 35.44% move upwards. We then fell back down just a fraction here, which was about 12%, and then we went back up again, and so far we've gone to 19%. I still think there's more room to the upside to be had here, although we are reaching an expiration date on this. So let's talk about what this looks like. So this is basically, in my opinion, a zigzag pattern, okay? And this zigzag pattern is very much nearing completion. So let's go ahead and just map out the targets to start with. So what we'll do is we're going to take this high point just here, okay, this one which has a dashed line on it, comes in at about 1,194. We're going to take the low, and then we're going to grab this whole entire fib, which is an 100% measurement of this entire 5-wave structure upwards here, and I'll talk about that in a moment. We have our low point just down here, okay, this comes in at 1,043, and then of course up here is our target. Now our target for this on a 1-to-1 ratio comes in here at $1,413. Okay, so that area is just being marked up here. Okay, that's our kind of target. Of course, there's possible scenarios where we actually find rejection anywhere really between 1,250 through to about $1,320. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that just to keep aware of that. Micro or the wave counts are more important in this scenario. So let's go ahead and map this out. Right, we've got 1, 2. We've then gone 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we have a 5-wave structure on this side. Then we have a 3-wave structure. Okay, just over here we go down with 1, 2, and 3. I'm using the WXY for this correction, and then we are moving on up, right? And here we haven't really necessarily got a clear wave count per se. I would say that this is probably our wave 2, this little section just here. I mean, and this is all wave 3. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get a fib tool, and we want to measure this, and we want to see if we actually are past the 1.618, which we are. So this could be our little wave 4 coming down here, and then we look to surge up into that final 5th wave. Now if that's the case, then essentially we are not going to be hitting our target, and we are more than likely going to find rejection somewhere probably between that 250 and 1300, right? So yeah, 1250 upwards is probably where that rejection is going to come. So I could be wrong. Our main target is up there as a 1-to-1 ratio, which is the most common with an ABC, with an A and a C function. But yeah, I'd be a little bit cautious on that. So let me map this out, right? So here we have 1, 2. I think that is 3. Although it's possible that actually looking at it, we might not have completed 3, so we might push up a little bit more. 4 and then 5. Okay, so you can kind of see how that's kind of limited right here. We might actually find ourselves with a 786 rejection. So if I grab hold of this and move this over to here again, it saves me for deleting that. Yeah, so we could find ourselves with rejection here. I'm going to mark that up right there. In fact, actually, what I'll do is I'll use a yellow box because I think that might make it a little bit easier. Yeah, let me just grab this like that. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll just throw some price targets in here as well so we know where these are. So basically we are talking about 1,258 dollars. So I'm just going to lower that down. I'm just going to use exact to the dollar, right? I'm not going to mess around with the cents or anything like that. And then the higher end of this, which will be the 786, would come in at $1,324. And I'll just leave that exact. Okay, so that's kind of that area. We obviously have our main target also just up here, right? So our main actual target coming in at $1,413, and I will put actually 29 cents, which will be the actual target on that one. So I will go ahead and now delete that. We don't need this one. This is effectively over. But what I would want to look for here is whether or not we've got any decent counts, because all of this could still be a single kind of wave, and we blast much higher. I don't think that's necessarily possible though. So that's kind of mapping that out, and essentially all of this is a zigzag, which basically is a giant A, B, and C. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what that is. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but I'm just tracking these subwave counts. They are slightly more important for trying to finish this off. Okay, so let's bring the stochastic RSI into play, right? Let's check the momentum behind this price movement. So on the hourly chart, we're looking pretty good. We can go up, right? It's looking like we are likely to surge up into this fifth wave high here, and then see some kind of correction afterwards. So from this hourly chart, upward directional move seems to be the next thing that we should be expecting. So I'm going to place this. If I actually grab a little mini fib here, and I'm going to run it from that high to that low. Yeah, we're probably going to be 1,255 to about 1,270 in that next little move up, which puts us right at the end. It's probably around that 618 area on our macro move, right? So we are looking at the lower end of this spectrum by the looks of it. Okay, so that'll be our little mini fifth wave, and that's probably going to take us up into the overbought area on this this hourly chart. Now things get difficult when we start going up into these time frames. The larger the time frame, the worse outlook we have here for Ethereum. So on our 4-hourly chart, we are already overbought. This already tells us that there's a limit to how high this thing is going to go. Okay, so we could be looking at this next little mini fifth wave being the end of our zigzag correction and actually bringing in a massive collapse to the downside. So we can't ignore that. I would definitely be looking at this this next move down with very keen eyes to see whether or not we are just having some kind of mini correction, or whether or not we are actually going to be ushering in the much deeper correction for Ethereum. So that's the 4-hour. The 8-hour is a very similar story, right up here in this overbought area. So again, running out of steam now, guys. We're like there's limited upside here, but a lot more room to the downside. And we take a look at the structure on this. I would be really focusing in on these kind of smaller targets between that 618 and 786, or the 1,250 to the 1,320 range. This is the area that I'm thinking is probably going to be the rejection. So I don't think we're necessarily got the ability to move up to 1,400. If we do, fantastic, but I think there's a low probability of that right now. And as we kind of go up one more, we go into the daily chart, guys. This is the cherry on the cake, if you will. Essentially, we're up here in the overbought area. This is now telling us that we are likely to see descent very soon. And we can couple this with all this area here of resistance right in that sweet spot, right between our little kind of key areas. If I come back down into our hourly chart, right between our 1,258 and 1,324, what do we have? Well, we have resistance. We have resistance right on this side here. As the price moves up into that little area there, already being overbought on the daily, overbought on the 8-hourly, overbought on the 4-hourly, and by the time we're there, probably overbought on the hourly. The directional move at that point is going to be a massive descent to the downside. Now, I spoke about this previously. If I come up into our weekly, you can see here that I was looking and trying to push this higher, right? Right up into this little sweet spot here of about $1,350. Now, that is a typical wave 4 correction based on this wave 3. So if we are shorter, that's fine. We can come down shorter and we can be at that lower end of the spectrum. It does change our analysis a little bit on this lower end. So if we do only hit about $1,250, for example, then we are talking about a $700 to $800 final fifth wave drop. Okay, so yeah, that would be a pretty good thing. It would limit the downside action for Ethereum. But of course, this is just a macro view, which helps give us the direction of the move, right? So the trend to the downside. But essentially, what we want to do is we want to track those micro movements in here, because if this wave overextends, we could drop down significantly lower. We could be talking $500 or so. So it is possible still to kind of see that. But until we actually have those sub-wave counts, we can't be 100% accurate on any of that just yet. But it does look like we are coming right up into this typical wave 4 corrective move area on our weekly chart, and we could start to see descent back to the downside again, bringing us into this oversold area once again, and ready for that next surge upwards. Once we complete the 5th wave down low, we should be in a really good spot on pretty much most cryptocurrencies to find the bottom and then start the reversal to the upside. So yeah, I'm just going to jump back down into our hourly chart here for a second, just zoom out a tad, get rid of the stochastic, just bring that in. So yeah, just to kind of summarize a little bit of what I've spoken about here, we have a zigzag pattern on our hourly chart. This effectively is an ABC structure. The expectations, the most common expectation for an ABC would be for Ethereum to kind of land at about $1,413. However, I don't think we have the momentum behind the price to actually get us and push us that far. So a focus in on the 618 and the 786 of the movement upwards actually indicates somewhere between $1,258 and $1,324, of which a small 5th wave can be measured and can be seen hovering around the $1,270. So that could be the point where we actually see that ABC structure complete and where we start to see the reversal in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how this next little move up actually maps out. The higher expectation is $1,400, but essentially really what we're talking about here is probably rejection from somewhere between the 618 and the 786, between $1,250 and $1,300. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.